corporate photography.
Sorry about that. Let
Okay.
me just take the recording and then we're going to transition right into it afterwards. But yes, so started out professionally. I'm following.
6, 7 years ago, I started out with corporate photography, which was great. Like I always had my like Kim, my 9 to 5 job. So I was doing that especially during the weekends, and it
Yeah.
was great. I was kind of like burning out because like it was a lot of hours, like it was like a full weekend, and I was mainly working for one corporate. Like I was their main photographer for 4 years, 4 5 years. um then because there was no passion
Yeah.
in it, like corporate, like they look at the images like yeah, 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 fine. So I wanted to, like, I passed basically into family, newborn, pregnancies, and branding, personal branding, where actually there's a little bit of, like, coming back of like, thank you so much, your photo are amazing, we bring them, like we have all these memories around our houses. But is still like kind of like a side hustle. I
Hmm.
would love this to become my mainstream of income.
Yeah.
And so far, I actually noticed that all my bookings are from people that, like, friends of friends of friend of friend. But so I don't know how to have like leads basically that
Okay.
are outside my circle of friends and family. um it's like a word of mouth. And also,
Yeah.
I ask a pay for like hourly pay, which
Hmm.
I saw a couple of your reels, and I really liked what you say about it, and so I want to know more about it. So, like, kind of like I would like a strategy, and
Yeah.
also would like to know how important it is to have your own website, if actually you do a lot of booking from there, like a lot of things like that, because I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
would
like,
definitely have
right. Sorry.
my target. So sorry, my target client. I want to raise my target client. I want to basically client with money, basically client that when I say my price, they're like, yep, we are on board. Without say like, yeah, no, but so this this is my aim.
So who is the this ideal client for you right now?
Well, they are friends of friends that I've taken photo for, and then so all my
So
clients
who
are mostly my
so
friends.
so let me change it for you. Who would you want that ideal client to be?
People with no money struggles.
Okay.
People with like an mindset that is different, that is actually valuing, like, the time of the photographer, the actual product that they have at the end. They do value it by like at the after. So when they see the photo, they actually pay the extra money that they ask and stuff. But yeah, I just want people that, yeah, like a luxury client, let's put it this
Yeah.
way.
Okay. Luxury client, really appreciate you sharing. We're gonna touch on that. So everybody, today's topic is the 5 selling mistakes that most photographers make when they're gonna be booking clients. So everybody that is here right now, we're gonna kick it off. Those who are late, they're gonna get left behind. And that is just the price that you pay when you show up late to things. Now, um, guys, if you can, I would really appreciate if you could join me on the video. It would just help because when I do these, when I do these in person, I'm able to see your facial expressions, see your head nods. If I see you kind of staring blankly, it will help me to like change my point or make something more contextual. And it also helps me to be less alone up here as well too. So if you guys could join me on the video, I would greatly appreciate it. I understand if you may be at work and you're listening while you're driving, you're the exception, but it just helps me with the feedback. You see, I saw 2 handsome gentlemen just join me as well, too, guys. I really appreciate it. So that's pretty much the game. The rest of you guys, just join me up here when you can, please. Appreciate you four that are up here with me. So this is a good point. So here's how the layout is. And you guys can let me know in the chat and by raising your hands, but how many of you guys have been on a webinar where the person is kind of half teaching you, but you could kind of sense that they're trying to sell you something at the same time. Show of hands for me, or like put a thumbs up in the chat, right? So this is not going to be that. My goal, just like you guys see on Instagram, is to give you guys strategies, advice, things that I'm currently doing that are working for me, sharing that with you guys so that you can take action and take your business to the next level. Now, does that mean I don't sell things? No, I'll be lying if I said that. I sell things. I'm a business coach, and I'm in the business of helping photographers get to their first $10,000 a month in revenue. That is what I do. But my challenge to you guys is that I want you guys to, if you're going to spend this hour with me, take in the information and take action. I don't do theory. I don't have time for theory. None of us have time for theory. We have families, we have lives, we have things that we want to do. And the frame that I just want to set around this is I want to take what I do on Instagram to the next level, because what I believe is if I can help even one of you guys with one thing that makes a difference, then it's going to help you guys get to the next level. And then maybe we could do some business together. That is my goal. So without further ado, are you guys ready to jump into the presentation today? Say yes. And you can say it out loud too. That is perfectly fine. This is not a lecture. All right?
Yes. Yep, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it, guys. So I have a whiteboard presentation to you today, because if I was in person, I would be doing a whiteboard. So I'm gonna be we're gonna be going into some good stuff today. All right. So the topic, as I said before, is the 5 selling mistakes that photographers make when they're selling photo shoots. Now, for those of you who do not know too much about me, my name is Jordi, branding photographer. I've been in the business for 10 years. I grew my business a lot in the last 4 years when I discovered that when people are buying services from you, they're looking for solutions, not the pictures that you take. So most photographers get this wrong. When you ask them what they do, they say they take pictures, and you miss one of the greatest marketing opportunities. What I mean by that is when somebody asks what you do, they're looking for how you could help them. So if you think to all the conversations that you've had with people and they ask you what you do, and then you say, oh, I'm a portrait photographer, you've undersold yourself and missed your point to get their attention and get them excited. I've been fortunate to work with some amazing companies. NYU, H&M, City Harvest, Pronghorn Co. is a liquor spirits investment company. I do work with the Brooklyn Borough Hall, the Brooklyn Borough President's Office as well too. Visions is a service, a nonprofit that services the blind community, Barclays Center, and more. So what I do is whenever I work with these companies, I try to take whatever insights I get and put them in a digestible form, just like you see on Instagram with the things that I'm learning and experiencing. And in a format like this, I'm able to go a little bit deeper than I am able to go on Instagram. So I know a little bit about what it is that I share, because you guys are here because of what I post. And today I'm aiming to take that to the next level. So mistake number one, right? Mistake number one. Mistake number one is thinking you sell to somebody instead of selling for them. What do I mean by that, right? A lot of the times when we think of selling to clients, we think that we're supposed to sell to them. And then we've been programmed by society with the car salesman or the insurance salesman or the person that's standing up with the clipboard that when you're selling to somebody, you have to hunt them down, chase them down, and you have to do it. But here's what. Do you guys have computers? Yeah. Do you guys have phones? You were sold those things, but you didn't feel like somebody cheated you and robbed you and took your money and then they gave you a laptop in return. They sold you something And that thing made your life better in some way. So the laptop that you have allows all of us here to conference globally from all over the world. So when you were sold the laptop, you were getting that laptop maybe because you wanted to stream Bad Boys 4 that just passed. If you guys saw it, if you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. Right? So the laptop enables you to do something. So when you made that purchase, in a small way, it made your life better. How does this apply to your photography? When somebody comes to us and they ask, like, hey, guys, I want you to do pictures for my baby shower, right? Let's use a baby shower example. What they're saying to you, like and then sometimes they hit us with like, hey, what's the price? This happens all the time. And it's two things that are happening. One, they're in the state of, I want to buy a photo shoot. The second part is, if you're asking right away for the price, chances are you don't really know how the services work. And this is where I believe that us photographers should take accountability, is that we have a responsibility to educate the client about the price. So when I first started, my first photo shoot was $35. And I was just excited to do that because I was an artist. I was like, whoa, people pay me for this. This is great. I took pictures in college in front of the dorm bathroom, taped up some lights to the wall. I had the little bulbs from the starter kit for $75 that you get from Amazon. I got paid. The lady came with her daughter, $35. Now I'm a professional. Next shoot I did was $75 though, because $35, you can't really do much with that. But what I realized was that she needed headshots same day. I was available. And because I was able to help her get the headshots the same day, she paid the money. This applies to larger context. So when a mom comes to you and she says, hey, guys, I want to do a baby shower or I want to do a maternity shoot. Have you ever asked like somebody why they want to do a photo shoot? Or do you just give them the price? Like what do you guys do? Like, do you guys just ask them like, hey, like, here's the price? Like what do you currently do? Keem, how about you? Like, when somebody asks you the price, what do you do?
When someone asks me a price, I always just say like it varies depending on what it is they need.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I'm introduced with a gig, I always the first thing is, well, what is this for and where is it going? Because that's going to dictate the parameters of the project, right? If
Mm-hmm.
someone's asking me, "Oh, I'm looking for headshots," and well, are they looking for headshots or are they looking for a Tinder, Hinge dating app profile picture, right?
Yeah.
Or are they looking at for you using it for LinkedIn and to land a job? Because if they're using it to land a job, most likely it's going to have a higher value to them, and
Yeah.
they're going to take it a little bit more seriously, right?
Yep.
Um, uh, outside of that, I do have like preset pricing where it's kind of like plug and play, so I don't have to do much in regards to like, oh well, does it have this and that, and that's gonna add $20. Like I don't do it like
Yeah.
a budgeting. I make it very, very simple so where they understand like, hey, my headshot session is $150. That's just a session fee. Then every photo that gets delivered after that is $50. Keep
Yeah.
it plain and simple. I don't know necessarily that works. I know that it's worked for me so far, but I don't know if that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty obvious with my pricing. I don't try to, and maybe that's another mistake I'm making, is I'm pretty transparent with how I price things. So maybe that leads to less leads and less
Mhm.
opportunity. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, thank you for sharing that, and I'll answer you more in depth later. But I think when it comes on to pricing, like one of the questions that I ask that I would add, like those questions you ask are very important. What does this shoot mean to you? How do you want people to see you when you have these images? Do you want to make your friends jealous? Do you want to impress your new boss? Do you want to use these for a marketing campaign? When you do that, you get them to talk about, like, the parameters of the shoot are important, but I build the parameters after they've explained why it's important. Because if you preset the parameters for the shoot, the value of the shoot. So here's Jordy's definition of value. Jordy's definition of value is the difference that you make in somebody's life after they have done a transaction with you. So if the difference that I make in that mom's life after I speak with her is, hey, I specialize in maternity for like 3 years, right? And every time I speak to a mom, I'd ask them, hey, so why do you want to do the shoot? The most common reason that I heard was, hey, I had my first baby and I really wish that I had pictures to show to my kids now when I was pregnant the first time. So whenever they came in with that, that was the foundation on which we built the shoot. So I said to her, hey, if you want to not have those regrets, then it sounds to me like the shoot is really important to you, right? And then they're like, yeah. So like on a scale of 1 to 10, like how much do you want to do this? Oh, well, like I want to do this like 9 out of 10. And then instead of asking why not 10 out of 10, I ask, why not lower than 9? So I flip it. I ask, why not lower than 9? And then they're like, oh, well, like I really want to do this. And if I don't do this, I won't have pictures for this. I can't send pictures to mom. And like, I can't send pictures back to Barbados or the UK. I can't send nothing back to Lagos, so they're giving me the context, the content, for the sale. And it just so happens that I'm great at taking pictures and I'll help you get there. So what I'm selling is the reasons that they want to do the shoot based on their feelings. Everybody, you guys are here for one reason only, because you feel like it. I can't chase you down on Instagram, DM you 100 times, and then you're like, all right, Jordy, I wanted to stop. No, you're going to just leave me on scene. You're here because you want to be here. People buy because they want to buy. So when you sell for somebody, when you're selling for that mom to get her picture so that she could share with the families and not have regret, when you sell for that client team to have images for their LinkedIn bio so that they could get a new job, when you're selling for them to get that result, that's how you do it. So when you think that you're selling to somebody instead of for them, you enter the sale all nervous. You're like, oh man, I don't know if they're gonna buy. It's 150. And then when they say yes, you're upset because you didn't want to do that price in the first place. Now, right? So here's what that leads to. There's 2 things that typically happen when you're in such a sales cycle, right? The value of the shoot, like I said, so the difference that you make in somebody's life is built upon what does the client want, how valuable is the thing to them, and how soon do they want it. This is what is going to bring up. This is what is going to make the money counter ring, ring, ring. And it has nothing to do with edits. It has nothing to do with the number of hours that you spend in a shoot. I've done 2-hour shoots where clients have paid $5,500. And that is one of the case studies that I'm going to break down for you guys today to show you exactly how we did it. But if it's making sense so far, drop a thumbs up for me, right? So you build value when you figure out what does the client want, how valuable it is to them, and how soon do they want it. When you go down here, here's how you cheapen the value of your expertise. Everybody here is an expert when you assume what they want. So somebody says, hey, what's the price? You're like, oh, it's 150. And then they're like, oh, no, ghost, they disappear. When you assume the value, when you assume that what they want is what pictures or number of edits or number of retouches or number of hours or number of outfits, half the time, like, people don't even really know what that is. They just know that, hey, I'm nervous. I am awkward when I'm taking pictures. Like, I had a guy recently that he recently passed the real estate exam and he wanted to do a photo shoot. He was a referral. So referrals are always great people to sell to because they're always ready to buy because they believe what the other person did. So I didn't need to sell too much. I asked him all the standard questions, how many outfits, what he wants to do, the pictures and everything. And I said to him, you know, I could do a standard headshot session for you. Right now, base price for one-to-one person shoots, for me to just share this with you guys to add value, it starts at $800. So they go from $800 to $2,500. That is what I charge for small projects, right? So so I know out the gate that he's gonna be paying at least $800 for something. So I asked him, he wanted headshots, and I said to him, Jovan, you could do headshots, but you said that you wanted to showcase your personality, and a headshot doesn't really do that. Now, you could come to the studio and I could do your headshots and I'll be done in 30 minutes. Or if you are open to it, we can also do headshots, and I can also set up some lifestyle shots for you in the studio that showcase different aspects of your personality. Would you like to do that? He says yes. And I say, okay, great. If that's what you'd like to do, what are some things that you're concerned about? He's like, well, I don't really know how to pose. I was like, oh, great. I have a mirror in the studio. And guess what? I'll put the mirror right in front of the backdrop for you. I also, one of the next meetings that we're going to have after this is a concept development meeting. And I'm going to research pictures that you like, and we're going to go through the pictures together, and you tell me all the poses you like. And guess what? I used to train models. So I'll guide you with all the poses. I'll even do the poses for you. Would that make you comfortable? Yeah. Send me the money right on the spot. I was in Macy's picking up a cologne, that my lady bought me while I closed the sale. The only thing that he was concerned about that almost didn't make me get the sale was when he was like, so Jordi, you're gonna direct me, right? And had I said no to that, I'm almost certain he wouldn't have booked the sale. And that was because the value for him was not feeling awkward. Making sense so far? Right? It's not about the pictures, guys, right? So here is something I want to bring to everybody's attention. Why most businesses fail. So I have a background. Because I do branding photography, I take a marketing results-based approach to photography. I also have a background in computer science, so that's my unique ability, right? Any skill that you guys have is your unique ability. So Keem, you have a background in digital marketing. That's your competitive advantage. Ylenia, I didn't completely get what your skill was, but it was something within your profession, but that is your unique ability. And if anybody else joins me on the video, I'll tell you what your unique ability is as well too, right? So why most businesses fail? Most businesses fail for 5 key reasons. 1, they're not generating enough leads. 2, 99% of the leads that they generate are unqualified. 3, all clients are from referrals. And I would put up $100 that most of you guys in here are suffering from this problem right here. All of your clients, if not most of them, are from referrals, and you don't have a way to consistently generate leads. Then the next part, which is also a catch-22, is no one knows who you are because you have 100 photos on your hard drive that you haven't posted because you don't know what to write in your caption, because you do not know who your ideal client is. And I have been there before, guys. So I know how it feels to have 1,000 pictures. You don't know what caption to write. And the reason is because you identify as a portrait photographer. Portrait photographer does too many things average. And the only way to become exceptional in this market is if you specialize. If I were to pass out right now, God forbid, and have a heart attack, you're not going to call a pediatrician. You're going to phone up a cardiologist. So the dilemma that we have here with our average photographer who is a generalist, he or she does some maternity shoots, baby shoots. They occasionally get a wedding, party comes their way. Occasionally a small business hits them up, but they'll be stuck somewhere between getting projects between 150. Occasionally, they may go up to 1,000. But 1,000 is so rare that they can't believe that it happens when it happens. Because it's like, whoa, like this really happened. Oh my God. Like you me $1,000. And then next month, no clients. The second level, so this person, like they get $1 right there. Photographer number 2 has decided to pick a lane for themselves. So maybe they call themselves a wedding photographer. So they do small weddings, large weddings, destination weddings. Sometimes they do an Indian wedding, sometimes an African wedding, sometimes a traditional wedding. So they do all types of weddings. This guy or gal can command a higher price. Because of their line of specialty, they can typically command, and you know, for weddings, the ballpark is a little bit more, but they can easily command anything in the range. And this is not a hard science, guys. These are just ranges to give you guys an idea of the thought process behind this. But they can easily command price rate between like $1,000 to $5,000 easily. But now, this person here who specializes in campaign launches, and I'm citing this from my experience, is when somebody is launching a new store. So last year when I was working with H&M, I did 4 store launches for them. They did a collection with Mugler, like that's the designer. If you guys are into fashion, they relaunched a store in Soho. They opened up a store in Harlem. And then I also did a conference where I photographed 500 of the store managers from all over the world in Las Vegas. So when I went to Las Vegas, my flight was covered. My travel expenses were covered. I had a plan for daily meals. My hotel was covered. And on top of all of that, when I went into the room on the TV, it said, "Hello, Jordi. Welcome." And then I got paid on top of everything being covered. So when you specialize, the reason is for that is because I have a specific type of way that I shoot. So when you call Jordi, you know that Jordi's coming in to do some damage. When you call portrait photographer Peter, he may have done like half a wedding for his cousin and like the pictures came out decent, but you don't really know what Peter's gonna do. So man, you don't even want to give Peter $1,000 because you're like, Peter might mess this up. And if Peter messes up the wedding, it's a liability. So here's the thing. When clients, and this may sound counterintuitive, but when a client pays more money, they're paying for security and results. The clients that I've always had that have not paid any money gave me the most headaches. They want all your time. They want the pictures turned around so fast. They text you right after the shoot for the pictures. Like it, right? So that's problem number 1. Next part. Problem number 2, you're not making enough offers. Meaning, if you pitch your service or product to somebody 100 times for the year, you want to get that to 100 times a month. And then you want to take, so if you pitch your service 100 times a year, that's only 100 times a year. But if you take that number and you make it, if you're pitching your service to 100 people every month, now you will have 12x your results. So instead of just 100, well, that's actually 12 times, right? 12 times more. So from 100, and I just write it here. So not $100, but 100 pitches per year to 1,200 pitches per year. Most photographers are not like I had one of my clients last week. They said that they believe that their work speaks for themselves. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Nobody cares about your work because anybody here can spin up a quick website on Wix and put up some pictures, and your work is not going to do a lot of talking. You have to pick up the phone, talk to people. I'm like, texting is cool, but I would not encourage you guys to spend too much time texting clients, because then it's going to create a habit in them of believing that they could text you anytime and reach you. So you have to set times and pick up the phone and call people. Now, if you don't know what to say on the call, I understand. I've been there before. Ask people questions. Like when I track my calls, I'm talking like maybe 20% of the time, 30% of the time. The client is talking 80% of the time. I'm barely talking. I'm like, okay. So what would this, okay, go. So you have to make more offers. What is an offer? An offer is you giving your client the opportunity to exercise their desire to buy. You're not forcing them to buy. They already have the desire to buy, but you're giving them the opportunity to exercise that desire. When you leave your house today, you're probably going to go to the store. The guy in the store didn't chase you down in the street, pull you in the store, and say you had to buy the sandwich. You wanted the sandwich. The store was there. You went in there and you exercised your desire to buy. So nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. That is not sales. Maybe that was how they did it in the 90s, but that's not how we do it in 2024. People want permission to buy. In fact, like I said before, people do things because they want to. So first, people, if you think that you're selling to people instead of for them, big mistake. And then if you're not making enough offers to people, for example, guys, tell me in the chat, how many people did you reach out to this week to find out what it was that they needed as it relates to your target audience? How many people did you reach out to? How many people did you, right? 1, 0. Thank you guys for your honesty. I really appreciate it. This is not a area to shame you guys or anything, but we just want to have an honest conversation about this, right? Somebody said 15 or 20, right? 3. So based on these numbers, I can almost guess how much money you make a month. Close to about $1,000. And if you have a decent referral system and you're reaching out to maybe 1 people like for the week or something like that, you're probably making less than $2,000 a month from your photography. Chances are I can guess that. The more people always look at sales, but sales is the result of something. So you got to take it back a level. So sales is the result of the amount of offers that you're making. The amount of offers that you make have to do with the amount of leads that you're generating. The amount of leads that you're generating, and I'm going to discuss that in the next problem, gives you the opportunity to make more pitches or offers. The more offers you make gives you the opportunity to make more money. And that is how you boost your sales. When you're looking at the sales, that's like looking at your profit and loss statement at the end of the year and being like, why didn't I make enough money? No, look at how much outreach you're doing per day. How many consultations are you having? How many people are you reaching out to? How many appointments are you booking? That's where you need to look, right? Now, this one. Thinking that you need to find more people to sell their stuff to instead of making yourself findable. I did not chase any of you guys down today. So there's a photographer here, and this photographer says, my work speaks for itself. Time to go look for clients. Or how about this? This photographer here says, I wonder what challenges people have. Notice when I message some of you guys, I ask some of you guys like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, what's going on in your business? How's things going? And that's the basis for, I'm not talking about stuff that I want to talk about. I'm talking about stuff that you want to talk about. that you care about, the results that you want. This applies in your photography as well, too. One of my students, when she joined the program, she was stuck between doing birthdays, events, and a little bit of maternity shoots. Since she started working with me, she decided that, Jordi, I want to do maternity. So all she does is post maternity. And you're like, oh, Jordi, that's great. That's so simple. I'm like, yes, it's that simple, but you're not doing it. The reason is you have to get crystal clear about who it is that you want to work with. So after you've done, so here's how this process works. You ask people what they want. You pick up the phone. You send people messages. You ask people what they want. And then you do a ton load of research. So research can come from a call. Research can come from you doing a giveaway. And then you have people sign. Like, let's say you have zero portfolio. I would give my services away for free. If you have no clients, put in the work. But it goes back to who it is that you want to work with. So you do research. That's research. Asking people what they want. Going on Google. Going on Quora.com. Ask ChatGPT. But ChatGPT only gives you good answers based on the quality of question that you ask. And then you talk about the problems. All I do on Instagram all day, every day, multiple times a day is talk about, hey, here's something that I realized that I was doing that may help you guys do something better. All day, every day, sharing my experience. After this call, I'm going to go to a location to scout for a video promo shoot that I'm doing on Friday. So stay tuned for the Instagram stories for that. But I'm going to document that, talk about the experience, and share my insights from it. You guys have to get in the mind of your client, because your client is over here. They're already asking who it is that could help them with their problem. They're already asking that. And guess what? When somebody wants a product or service, what do? Somebody shout out the answer, put it in the chat. When somebody wants something, what do you guys do?
You buy it.
But before you do that, it starts with a G, right? G.
Bro, you Google it.
You Google it.
Google it.
You Google it. When somebody wants something, they're going to Google it. And guess what? If you can't be found, you won't make any money. So they're going to Google it.
Very true.
So instead of looking, finding more people to sell your stuff to, make yourself findable. And you don't make yourself, like, if you go to my Instagram bio right now, it is very clear what I do. I'm very clear about what I do. People, like, it's so clear to the point right now where people ask me, hey, Jordi, do you still do photography work, or is it more on the business side? I'm like, yes, it's working. Right, like, I still do it from time to time. I'm not perfect. I'm still building my business just like you guys. I'm just clear about who I want to sell to. I do not want to do your baby shower for $75 an hour. No, I'm sorry. Been there, done that. Not anymore. I have responsibilities. Right. So that's the third mistake. Right. Are you guys liking it so far? Right? You guys liking it so far?
Yeah, it's good information. Good information, yeah.
Yes.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. I happy you liking it. All right, next one. Selling what you want instead of selling what people want to buy. I talk to photographers all the time, and I see the memes about it. And a photographer, like, I'll see these posts all the time, and they'll say, my equipment, I spent $3,000 for my laptop, $3,000 for my camera, $250 for my SD cards. I'm 5 years learning how to do the skill, and you want to pay me $150? And I say to myself, nobody gives a crap. Okay, great. Those are the tools that you need to work. Great. Like, you don't hear plumbers going around saying, like, yeah, like I have this wrench and this screw and this plaster to fix your stuff. Like, no, like those are the tools to do the job. Great. You're a photographer. Happy for you, right? Like, that's the basic cost of entry to do your job. You need a camera to do your job. Clients, in fact, they cannot tell the difference between a iPhone picture or a camera picture. Like, they can't. And that's why they don't see the value in us. It's only trained professionals. Kim, I see you there. Like, I'm just save the question for me. Don't forget it, all right? But see, guys, you see how I reacted right there? So that's why the feedback is important for me, right? So for that, when shoot, I lost my train of thought, right? The cost of entry to being a photographer is having gear. You need that stuff. That is just how this stuff works, right? Now, clients do not care about that. And the reason you want them to care about it is because you believe that because you use pro photo lights and you have a Canon R5 with a 24 to 70 RF lens that they should care. They don't. People always want to know what's in it for them. You guys here right now want to know, how is this gonna, I'm about to spend an hour with this random Jamaican guy on Instagram right now. This better be good, you know? So my duty to you guys is to ensure that I deliver. It's not about me. It's not about my desperation. It's not about my bank account. It's not about my coaching program or anything like that. It is my duty to help you guys with the problems that you have. So sell what people want. Like, a guy came into my mentor's boxing gym the other day, and he said, "Hey, is this like a fashion place?" And I was like, "Why, yes, it is. What can I help you with?" And that's because sometimes we do art galleries there. Sometimes we have showings there, you know? Now, I didn't know exactly what he needed, but I said to him, like, hey, like, yeah, like, this is what it is. Like, hey, like, I'll call the guy and you could talk to him. I could have easily said, oh, no, we don't do that here because we only do it every now and again. But I sold him what he wanted to buy. And that's not a bad thing. Selling is a good thing. When you sell somebody something, you're doing something good for them. When somebody sells you a car, it's a good thing because a car helps you get from point A to point B. When you sell somebody a photo shoot, you're helping them get a good feeling. They're giving you the money because they value the thing that they're going to get more than the money that they have. And as long as you can make the thing that they want more valuable than the money that they're spending, people will always buy. So selling what you want instead of selling what people want to buy is another critical mistake. And last but not least, trying to get people to buy instead of creating an environment where people want to exercise their desire to buy. If you create the atmosphere for it, and I'll explain what I mean by that, is, let me see if I have any illustrations here to show you guys. This is the formula. So when I'm picking, like I do brand strategy for clients, right? So one of the things, I run a branding agency, and one of the things that my team and I do all the time when we're helping a client figure out a campaign is we try, the first thing that we do before anything else is we figure out who their ideal client is. And this is also what I coach on as well too. But here are 4 criteria that we always use, which it helps us to determine whether or not we even want to go after this person or not. Are they in pain? Meaning, do they need a service? Can they afford it, right? So all niches are not created equally. Are they easy to find? So if you're telling me that you're doing pet photography for ligons, right? Like ligon is a breed between a lion and a tiger, right? Like if you're telling me that you're doing pet photography for ligons, I would be like, man, it's not really so easy to find a ligon in the wild, you know? Or like if you tell me that you're doing photography for like new immigrants to the United States, are they easy to find? Absolutely. Do they need the service? Probably not. Can they afford it? Nope. Because when I just moved to the country, getting pictures was not on my mind. My priority was getting my citizenship. And that was my priority, right? And then the last part is the market size for these people growing or shrinking? Meaning, if you want to work with, like, let's say you want to do headshots for, and I'm going to run these people through the system to show you guys how it works. So let's say you want to do headshots for unemployed people that want to get new jobs, right? And are they in pain? So you guys tell me yes or no. Do these people that want to apply to new jobs, do they need a headshot? Yes or no? And you guys can say it out loud. I love the feedback. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Can they afford it?
No.
No.
It is not a trick question, I promise. Like if you're unemployed and you want to get a job, chances are you can't afford it. No trick questions, guys. Are they easy to find?
No.
Yes.
No.
I would say yes, just because of LinkedIn.
Yep. They are easy to find. You can do a Google search. You can check the United States Census Bureau to look at the stats. Unemployed people are easy to find. Now, is the market size for these people growing or shrinking? Yes or no? Is it growing or shrinking? Growing or shrinking?
Growing.
Right?
Growing.
So now, here is why I would not work with these people, because they can't afford it. So I run any client that I want to work with through this system. So it's like just checks and balances. Just checks and balances. So they need the service. They're easy to find. The market is growing, but they can't afford it. And let's just do one more for illustrative purposes. Let's say we're going to do a real estate professional, right? But let's say that this is a real estate professional that has been in the business for 2 decades and they sell $1 million properties, but they realize that they want to move into the upper echelon of the space. And I actually did have a client like this recently. Let's say, for example, they sell $1 million properties, but they want to go from $1 million properties to like $5 to $10 million properties. And they want more people to know who they are, and they want people to know that they're knowledgeable. That's what this client looks like, right? So are they in pain? Do they need the service? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Can they afford it?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they easy to find?
Yep.
Yes.
Is the market size for these people growing or shrinking?
Growing?
Yep.
Growing, I would say. I mean,
So
yeah, I guess.
So 60,000 realtors enter into the market about every single year.
Oh, well, yeah.
Out of that 60,000, there's only, and this is just the natural distribution of stuff. Like when you start college, freshman class is 300 kids. Then when you get to sophomore year, there's 200. Why does it happen? Nobody knows. Should we try to know? Absolutely not. Do not sign up for that program. When you go from sophomore year to junior year, class goes from 200 to 75. Why? Nobody knows. The birds got them. Friend took them astray. Maybe they couldn't afford. Don't sign up for that. It's just the distribution of things. In any group of people, and this is a physics law that I like, in any group, the square root of that group is what produces 50% of the results. So if you have 9 clients that come to you, 3 of them are going to be responsible for 50% of your revenue if you do get them to buy. In any economy, right, there's about 32 million small businesses in America, but only, and don't quote me on the exact number, but there's only about 30,000 businesses out of 30 million businesses that produce 50% of the total gross domestic produce in the United States. Why? It's just because here's one of the reasons, and I'll cite this from one of my coaches, is that mediocrity scales exponentially, but greatness scales incrementally. So it's easy for most people to be mediocre because it's hard to do the things to be successful, just as hard as it is to be unsuccessful. So, you know, like when you have your thermostat in your house and your thermostat checks the temperature, people have a success or failure thermostat in their brain. People that fail, they're not trying to fail. They just fail. People that are succeeding, they're not trying to succeed. They just succeed. Like, you don't try to get up out of bed. You get up out of bed. You don't try to eat breakfast. Like, I can tell where somebody is in their life based on how they describe their language. Anything that follows I am is typically what the person thinks about themselves. So if your clients are saying to you, oh, I'm trying to, watch out. Not that it's a lost cause, but it's just a pattern to pay attention to, right? So that's how you figure out how to profile your client and whether or not you go after them. It's a real easy formula. Nothing in this should be difficult, right? So that is the 5 reasons, guys. So to summarize, right? Thinking that you sell 2 instead of 4, not making enough offers, so make more offers, offer people your service, finding more people to sell your stuff to instead of making yourself more findable, and then selling what you want instead of selling what people want to buy, and trying to get people to buy instead of creating an environment where people want to exercise their desire to buy, are the reasons that people are not buying and the reasons that you're probably not being able to command as high of a price as you can. And that, my friends, is the end of what I'm going to be doing today. So I love to open it up for questions. And before I do that, I have one of my students here. She's not able to speak because she's a little bit under the weather, but she lives in Mississippi, where the average income, the median income per household is $36,000. In the first week of her working with us, she was like, Jordi, people in my area can't afford it. And I said, well, I mean, if you believe that, you'll never get anybody to buy. And in about 2 weeks after us working through some exercises, she went from selling a shoot from $350 to selling her first $1,000 photo shoot twice. So she was able to make $2,000 in one weekend from just applying some of the principles that we spoke about today, guys. So chances are you're not selling a high cost photo shoot as you can because you don't have a high package, right? So you have to have the package, right? So you want to have that package so that people can buy it. And if you don't have it, that's because you may not believe it. But I hope that what I shared with you guys today does inform some type of belief, because I believe that it is the greatest time in the world to be a photographer right now. We've never had so much access as we do. Instagram allows us to connect with business owners, friends, and family. You can search people on LinkedIn by their job titles. And Instagram Reels right now are Instagram Reels right now allow us to, like, it's no longer based on who follows you. It's based on what people are interested in, guys. So I'll open it up to questions, guys. I love to take some of your questions, and then I will share the rest of the resources and where we'll pretty much take it from here. Last but not least, I have two of the guys from my team right here, guys. You could just say hi. They help me with a lot of the operations back in the back end. Kashmir and Alfredo, you guys could say hi if you're able to. If not, that's fine as well too.
Hey everyone, Alfredo here. Yeah, we're part of the sales team with Jordi, and it's been a great experience working with him.
All right. Thank you, guys. So any questions? What I found with questions, guys, is the more selfish you make your question, somebody else may have that question. So don't be general. Make it specific to your situation. And it's going to be a one-on-one conversation with me and you. So any questions? And Alfredo, guys, put the link to the feedback form in the chat, please, okay? So that everybody could get it. And guys, while I'm answering questions, please submit the feedback form. They help me to make these weekly sessions that I do better for everybody. So who's up for the first question?
I'll go ahead and ask the first question.
Yeah.
In your experience as an entrepreneur in photography, what have you found to be like the most useful tool? It could be, digital, it could be physical, in creating your business. What have you found to be the most useful tool that has helped you take your business the furthest?
I think, and this may be counterintuitive, actually getting a coach was the thing that helped me to get the furthest, the fastest. And in 2020, I've had a series of different coaches throughout my career. So in the beginning, I had a model coach. So I learned my technical photography skills very early on. I bought courses that taught how to shoot. So I learned about aperture, exposure, lighting, Photoshop. I've been doing Photoshop since 2012. 2015 to 16, I had a fashion coach. This was when I was building my portfolio. They taught me how to, I remember I would submit pictures to my model coach and she would look at me and say, "Hey, Jordi, these are trash." And I'll say, why? And what she was looking at was how people were looking in the pictures. She was looking at how people were posing, if their noses are flared up, if their head is turned to the side. That's why she said they were trash. 2020, I got a photography coach that taught me how to shoot. Before, when I was shooting and I didn't realize, I always tape my session. So I bring a tripod, set up the camera, and just tape myself shooting. I met him at an event. He invited me to a studio. 3 days later, I go to the studio and he's telling me, he's looking through this last shoot that I did. I'm so proud of it. He's like, "Trash." He scrolls again. "This is trash. This is trash." I'm like, "Yo, we just met. Can you make it sweet?" But the reason was because all my pictures look the same and they didn't tell a story. And when I look back at the videos, I was sitting down in the same position in the chair for 20 minutes at a time. I wasn't engaging with the model, moving around. And then 2022, I hired a marketing coach, technology coach to teach me how to set this technology stuff up, how to run ads, how to write stuff for my target audience. So that having people along the way to teach me stuff has been the most beneficial because they've been where I wanted to go and it helped me to grow so much faster. Did I figure out a lot of stuff on my own? Of course. But, it took me 8-9 years to really get traction that I wanted. I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, who's next?
I had a question. Since we're on the topic of your journey, based on the concepts you explained today, which one of these was the most difficult for you to understand or overcome?
Who's asking this question?
This is Don. I think my Zoom name might be different. This is only thing this might be my account, but yeah, my name's Don.
Okay, all right, Don. Thank you for being here. So say your question again for me, Don.
So since we're on the topic of, your journey as far as creatively and business-wise, which one of the concepts that you explained today was the hardest for you to overcome?
The hardest one for me was really getting crystal clear about who it was that I wanted to serve. When I first started, I did event photography. I was a part of party promotion teams. I did a little bit of maternity for 3-4 years. I did some fashion photography. I used to work with models. And finally, when I realized that I wanted to work with brands, people that wanted to do marketing campaigns that needed a service, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was so simple for somebody to pay me $400 an hour for a photo shoot. And then it's only a 3-4 hour session with 15 pictures being edited, And the reason I think that was because it's counterintuitive to our nature as creatives, where, we have so many different ideas, we're good at so many different things, but some schools of thoughts will tell you you don't need to focus on one thing, which can be true. But if you look at any successful person, they have spent a long time building one thing, and then that cup overflowed into other streams of income. Now, the error that I believed for a long time was that in order to have multiple streams of income, you need to do multiple things. So I got bit by the videography bug early on in my career. I did music videos for a while. I got bit by the graphic design bug, thinking I need to do something and then eventually something will take off. But the best decision I made for myself was deciding to be the best photographer that I could be. And when I had a call the other day, Don, with somebody who's in politics, I'll just spare their identity. But I got on the call with them. They're local to the Brooklyn area, so they wanted to do a photo shoot. And I did the same process that I shared with you guys today. And their shoot was 3 hours, $2,500. And when I got off the call with them, I asked them same questions like, why do you want to do the shoot? How do you want people to see you? How do you want people to see? And what do you want people to say? And then when I got off the call, the secretary texted me and was like, Jordi, do you think that we need to increase the budget for the shoot? And I said, after thinking about it, I think we may need to, but let's talk about it so I could hear your thoughts about it. So it was just really getting clear about who it was that I wanted to work with that really transformed everything, because it was just difficult at first. It's not easy because, there are times where you need money. You're going to need money to do stuff. It's a reality. But when you get selective about who it is that you want to work with, over time, it becomes a lot better, So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it definitely does. I find myself in the same position right now as far as I feel like I have the skill set to take the photos, but narrowing it down so I don't have to worry about, I have a wedding client, I have a baby shower client, I got an event client. So definitely limiting the amount of clients or a different subject of clients I have will help me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely, man. And guys, fill out the feedback form in the meantime, please. I have 3 people that submitted it so far. So just please fill it out. Thank you. So yeah, man. It is the case, because damn thing about it is each type of shoot that you do demands a different type of skill. So a wedding is a different type of event from a baby shower than it is a corporate gala, than it is something else. So even though it's still an event, there's certain skills that you have to get keen on in order to make it better. So what photographers don't realize a lot of the times is that every time you pick a new lane to go into, you're starting from zero.
Right.
Like you're literally starting over every time because this new thing, like you can make money selling landscapes, for crying out loud, if you want to. But what people feel like is that you have to do commercials. Like I'm just giving branding and commercial examples because that's what I love. But I've done maternity for 4 years. Like I'm like that same mentor. The ads that we run, we generate 100 leads per month for maternity. And the average shoot that he sells is about $900. So that's on average $9,000 from just selling maternity shoots. So it's possible in anything, you know? So yeah, man. But I appreciate that question, Don. Let me take a question from the chat, guys. We have Ajala. What pricing structure would you suggest us to follow? It depends. I sell people what they want, right? Do I have base prices? Absolutely, right? So as I said before, for small projects, the starting price is $800 to $2,500, right? So that means that not everybody's qualified for that, which I'm okay with. But I would say, like, if you do want me to literally answer the question, 3 packages are great. Low-end package, middle price package, and then a premium package. Those 3 are always great to have. But guess what? When you get on the call with somebody, you'll sometimes find out that your package may not exactly meet their needs, but it at least gives you a baseline. So 3 packages minimum are always a great way to start, so that you at least know what it would cost you. Here's what I would suggest, which is not really a recent move, but it's like, how much would it cost you to do the shoot if you weren't there? So let's say you had to hire a photographer, hire an editor, hire somebody to book the appointment, and then pay somebody to edit. How much would that cost you? That would be a place to like kind of go. So I hope that helps you. Thedo, can you give me more context on your question, how to qualify leads or how to get qualified leads? Tell me a little bit more about that, please.
Okay, one of the reasons that you were talking about is that we have some of the people that text and ask about their photo shoot and everything, but you find that these people don't afford the price, or they don't afford you. So how do you make a system where people understand that there's a certain price that you have to pay or get qualified leads? That's what I'm asking.
So let me ask you a question. Who are these people? Like, who are you selling to?
Currently, I'm doing studio shoots, maybe birthday photo shoots and everything. Yeah. Anyone currently.
So that's the problem, right? It's too general. Okay. So if you're just doing studio shoots, it's hard for me to tell you, like, hey, like, I don't know who you want to work with. Like, do you want to work with doctors, lawyers, mothers, kids, babies? You know, like, what direction do you want to go in? That's the place I would start. When you know who you want to work with, it gets easier to attract more qualified leads because you'll understand what they're going through. And then you'll be able to empathize with them more. And you'll be able to ask specific questions. So, for example, I do a lot of work in the real estate space. When I speak with a real estate professional, instead of asking them how much sales did they get, I would say, how many closings did you get last year? If I'm speaking to a photographer, I'll ask, how many bookings did you get last month? If I'm speaking with a mom, I'm going to ask her, what does this memory mean to you? And when was the last time you did a photo shoot with the family? I need to know who you're talking to before I could really answer that question. But what it seems like to me is that you don't know who you're working with. So you're taking a little bit of everything. So you're picking up pennies from all over the place trying to make $1. And I'm just being candid with you because I want to bring value. but you're picking up pennies from a lot of areas and not focusing on the group. So the process that I recommended, if you took notes on it, is do they need the service? Can they afford it? Is the market for them growing? And are they easy to find? Like any group of people that you're filtering through that will bring you one step closer to being able to attract qualified leads. Because if you don't know what you want to attract, people can sense the unsurety when you talk to them. Like human beings are good at smelling intention. So I would think about that, okay?
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me take 2 more questions, guys. I'll just take 2 more questions and then I'll let you guys go. But 2 more questions. And guys, don't forget to fill out the form. 2 more questions. Anything that's on your heart and your mind.
Yes, nobody want to talk, but I just want to say thank you, Jordi. Very informative, and I appreciate all the gems that you drop on us this morning.
Yeah,
and definitely we're gonna try to put them in action.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely, man. So guys, I'm gonna close out here because I don't want it to be too late. But we're gonna be back here again next week, Wednesday, same time, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. 10 a.m. to 11 Eastern time. And we're going to think about the topic that we're going to be doing. But I'd really hope that this brought you value. We're going to be following up with you guys as well, too. So I saw here that some of you guys are interested in the coaching program. To let you guys know, the coaching program, we're taking 10 people. There's a lot of people that want to do it, but we cannot do everybody. So we're doing 10 people. It's going to be launching July 29th from, and we're launching 6 p.m. It's going to be 6 weeks of intense coaching. And the goal for that program is, if you guys like what we did here, we're going to take that on steroids. The goal is whatever we do in that program, that you guys get 10 times more the value than what you decided to invest in yourself. So if you are interested in the coaching program, just fill out the feedback form. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. There's a button in there where you could select yes or no. If you select no, guys, I'm not going to be offended. I'm not here to force anybody to do anything that you don't want to do. But if you're serious, and if you're tired of feeling stuck and confused and not knowing what you want to do or where you want to go, and you want to fast track your process, like you guys could see it on Instagram. You guys could see it in the process in what I shared. This is no BS. But if you're tired of feeling stuck, just let me know in the feedback form. We'll be happy to follow up with you and let you know what options we have. I know some of you may be like, oh, like this is going to be expensive. It is. It's not cheap. And I'm going to let you know that up front. But we do have options for all price levels. So we have premium value offers. Premium value meaning that it may seem expensive, but the value to you is going to be 10 times more than what you pay. We have do-it-yourself options as well, too. And we also have a private membership community as well, too, that is a great place to start as well. So, guys, just take 2 more minutes. For those of you who didn't, please fill out the feedback form, and I will close things out in like 5 minutes. But really, I really appreciated you guys jamming with me here today for this time. You know, Ylenia, let me ask you, what was the part that stood out to you the most today?
I was just filling the form. I think, well, in general, all of them. Because I do already the first one that you said about talking about what they want, what they need. I jump on their own calls and stuff. But the one where you were saying make more offers, like I don't do offers, I'm rubbish. Like I don't market, like, and the other one where make you findable.
Yeah.
Like I'm horrible. Like like I have an Instagram account, but I don't do anything with it basically. And even when you said like, oh, you have hundreds of photos and then you don't post them, you know, like that is the hardest part for me. Everything else great, and also the pricing thing. So I would love to be better in setting my price. I have set prices, so I always kind of like close a sale, that 30 minutes of a call talking about value. But I would like to ask more. The thing is, like, also as you said, I'm an image retoucher, 9 to 5. I come from studying, because you didn't know, I didn't say to you before, cinema.
Okay.
So, but actually coming from corporate, going into maternity and newborn families, it's a different set of skills. Like a lot of people say, like, why you don't do weddings? You earn more money, but I'm not a wedding photographer, so I need to know how to be a wedding photographer otherwise. So, and I started like a year ago with family, and I started reaching out to people for build, as you said, for even for free to build the portfolio. But actually, even if I reached to do it for free, they were all paying me. And I started like from 80 pounds, 80 pounds shoot, and now I have like 350, and they all kind of like pay that. But I would like to go more because I would like to know how to basically price myself better and put myself better out there and do more offers. That are the key point. So when you said out of those 5 that interested the most.
So here's
Jordi, sorry, without cutting you, I just wanted to add something real quick.
Yeah.
I was in that situation where I used to shoot for free as well to build my portfolio. But I learned one thing. It's better to charge them even a little thing, gas money or whatever it is. Don't shoot for free. Because when you become a little bit big, what's going to happen? They still want to have like free shoot. So I always tell my friend, don't shoot for free. Charge them a little something, whatever it's gas money, whatever it is, but don't start free because they might take it as an habit of doing it. Even you need it to build portfolio and stuff, because once they have it for free, they have tendency of not loving, of not really find a way to use those things. So they still want to do free things all the time. So
well,
that's why
let me add this. I would actually disagree. You can still do free photo shoots, but make it very clear that this is the first and last photo shoot that you're going to be doing for free. And here's how I say it. Hey, I'm building my portfolio and I would love to offer you this service for free. No cost to you. I'll take on all the cost. However, after this photo shoot, if you are interested in working with me, there's going to be a fee to it. But because you're one of my very first clients, I'm willing to offer you a discount for coming back to me the second time. And after I do the shoot for free, I would love if you gave me a testimonial. And if you refer 2 friends to me, then I'll give you the next shoot for free. So you can still do it for free, but you just set very clear terms around it. So I take on all the risk. I'm like, if it's a studio though, like Ajala, I agree with you. I'm not giving them the studio for free. Like, you got to put something down for the studio, right? But
Jordi, you're Jamaican. I'm Haitian. We know our Caribbean people. I don't know exactly where everybody's here from.
Oh, Jamaica.
I'm telling you, this is the truth. But I agree.
I don't work with Jamaicans. I don't work with Jamaicans.
No, but I agree what you said. You know, make it very clear that this is the first and final. But at the same time, you know, they have a tendency of always, oh, you did that for free for me. You know, I have some clients who return to me because when I started my first photo shoot, like you mentioned yours, you did for 35. And then they say, oh, you did this for me for 35, and now your price are this. Because sometimes they don't see the value of it. So that's
do you work with them?
Like you say. No, I don't, because I'm not going to work for that same price.
Exactly.
But at the same time, they have that tendency. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, but guess what? I don't control people. If they still want to, I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like you could still get the low price, but not from me. I'm happy to refer. I'm like, what I even do? I say to them, I could refer you to somebody that could do it for cheaper. But not me. So I'm gonna give them every option, but not to work with me because hey, look, like if it's too expensive, then there's plenty of people that could do it for cheaper, but there's a chance that you may end up paying more because you may have to do the shoot twice. But if you're fine with that and price is your biggest thing, then I'm not the photographer for you. I love turning people down because all money is not created equally, you know. But no, that was great, guys. Adagio, that was absolutely true. Like people are like that, you know. So guys, let's close out the show. Next week, I'm gonna be speaking about how I helped one of my students take a photo shoot from $1,500 to $5,500. And I'm gonna show you guys the exact process for how we did that. I'm gonna be doing that next week. And I'm also looking forward to speaking with you guys on the next one. So as always, stay blessed. And thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I'll never take it for granted. Have a good one.
Take care. Happy Juneteenth.